We are back in Nashville. Yeah, you can hear them picking the guitar. Our next guest is not here for the music. Avery Johnson joins us, the head coach of the Crimson Tide. They take on Ole Miss tomorrow night. Coach, I'd say it's an understatement to say it's a pretty important game.
Oh, it's a really important game for us, Paul. We've been in this situation before.
Yeah.
We don't like it necessarily, but for some reason my team seems to respond when their back's against the wall, and we better respond against a really good Ole Miss team and a team that now has the SEC Coach of the Year.
Yep.
Kermit's done a nice job with his team. A lot of veteran players that can help solve problems for him with Davis and Tyree, so we don't have a choice.
We were talking to Coach earlier, and certainly he said against you earlier in the year in January, they played probably the worst game of the year. They were out physicaled. I don't know what that means in March, but you certainly got a good look at them.
We did, and for us, that was one of our better games. We have a couple of games this year, or a couple of halves, where we actually look like a really good basketball team. And that particular game was a highly rated defensive game for us. And then offensively, our decision-making in that game against their man or zone was extremely good. And it's going to have to be the same way this time around because obviously they are trying to even up the score, and we're trying to go up 2-0.
Coaches usually try to evaluate at the end of the year, but that has not occurred yet. But as you reflect back on the last couple of months, where has this team gone wrong?
We have not closed games out, and I think that's a product of too many turnovers. When you have more turnovers than assists, and you're not reading defenses and making the defense pay, you're going to struggle. Our free throw shooting hasn't been at a high level. And I just got to do a better job of making sure that our players understand all of the small, minute details that can turn into big problems. But the last 4 minutes of games, we've gotten beat at the buzzer 2 or 3 times. We didn't finish well against LSU or our in-state rival. So we're right there. Against Kentucky, we finished at a high level. And I can point at South Carolina on the road. We played one of our best games of the year.
Almost beat Tennessee.
Almost beat Tennessee. You know, last second play, unfortunately, we traveled. We didn't even get a shot at the basket. So we've shown some potential. Hopefully with this new season, a new opportunity, we're able to put it together.
I don't want to come off like a prosecuting attorney, but if you can nearly beat Tennessee in Knoxville, you do beat Kentucky at home, and you take care of South Carolina, those are 3 of the top 4 seeds. What about the rest of them?
Yeah, and you got to play against everybody. And as you know, Paul, the SEC, and I'm sure the other coaches are saying the same thing, it's probably been as tough as it's been in the last 10 or 15 years. So there's really no off nights. And independent of what a team's record is, you can get beat if you're not ready to play, independent of what your talent level is. So hopefully we'll, put together one of our better games, get some more leadership. I got to do a better job of making sure my guys are ready to play for a 40-minute game, and then that puts us in a better position to have success. So
it was a year ago that you were in a tough spot. You pulled it off on that Thursday afternoon in St. Louis with a shot that people are still talking about by Colin Sexton. I realize you can't go back in time, different venue, different state, but that's what you want.
Absolutely. And our team, even though it came down to that last second shot, that was the best game we played out of the last 6 or 7 games in SEC play. I mean, they were alert. They were ready to go. And we got to have much more of the same this year in the SEC tournament because we're playing against a team that was ranked throughout the year. Like I said, they have the reigning now SEC Coach of the Year. They have really great depth, especially at the guard position. Their bigs play differently. Some can shoot threes. Some are big rebounders. So we better be ready to play from start to finish, and we're capable of it.
Talking to Avery Johnson, Coach, you've been head coach in the NBA. You played in the NBA where criticism comes with the territory.
Yeah.
You've been an analyst on this side, so you understand when teams aren't doing well. I bring all that up because this is just one show. But night after night, fans call in and they're frustrated. I'm sure you're aware that when things don't go well, fans become frustrated. What can you say to those fans who right now don't really like the direction of this program?
Well, I don't. That's a strong statement to say the program is not headed in the right direction. You know, Paul, I haven't been here for 8 or 9 years. This is year 4, and we said after year 3 we wanted to make the tournament and continue to make the tournament. This season is not over yet. Sure, in some games we thought, man, we were right there. We make our free throws. We take better care of the ball. We'll have an opportunity to win. But I'm as fired up about Alabama basketball as I was when I walked in the door. We have a 17-year-old point guard that's not going to turn 18 until April, playing against a lot more experienced quarterbacks. Some of our sophomores that had some moments last year, they're going to have some great moments this year. But, you know, the party's not over. We still have a lot of room for growth, even during this time of the year. And we got a great recruiting class coming in. We just think we're in the right spot to hit the reset button, and hopefully we'll do it in the tournament.
Yeah, and these are obviously questions that are premature, but you know how fans are.
Yeah.
I mean, they were hoping that they could already see their name penciled in, and when you see Alabama first 4 out, whatever today's bracket is, I'm sure you can't obsess over, because you know if you win a couple of games, that's moot, right?
Yeah, and again, we have a great opportunity to change the lyrics of this season, and that's what we're working towards around the clock. We never overpromised anything, but the expectation was to make it to the tournament again this year. The story hasn't come to an end yet. We have a chance to pretty much, you know, control our own destiny. And our fans have been great, Paul. Our attendance have increased every year. Our student attendance, Coleman Coliseum was rocking this year. And we've had some high moments and some low moments, but you know me from my career, Paul. I played 16 years in the NBA, and, you know, I've coached in the league. I've coached in college. You know, I've never been known to be a quitter. I've always been known to be a fighter, and I'm still fighting.
No, I do know that, and I guess I bring this up because when noise travels, sometimes it takes skips, and I think it would be incumbent upon me to ask you about your commitment long term to this program, right, because there are certainly some out there who wonder about that. Yeah,
well, if you ever wonder about it, just you know, stop by my office at 5 in the morning or 10 o'clock at night, and watch me throughout the games, you know, when I'm up on the sidelines coaching, or, you know, if you ever had a chance to see me in practice, it looks like a guy that's fully committed.
Well, Coach, best wishes. Tomorrow is a big game, obviously, and what happens after that will be for another conversation, but we appreciate you coming by.
Thanks a lot, Paul, and roll tide.
You got it.
Thank you.
Avery Johnson joining us here in Nashville. We are live at